The Sharper Image is a store known for its electronic gadgets. It's not actually a computer store. You won't find anything for sale in here that actually has a disk drive, a keyboard, and a monitor. But virtually everything for sale in here does have a computer chip or two hidden inside it. Indeed, the worlds of computer technology and consumer electronics are quickly merging. Today, we'll take a look at the growing role of computers in consumer electronics as we visit the annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas on this special edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SPA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection, and by Byte Magazine and Bix.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me this week is Heidi Roizen, president of T-Maker Software. Heidi, this is a very good example of the merger of computer technology and consumer electronics. Now, what a camcorder does well is take good video pictures, right? What a computer can do well is graphics, animation, music, and so on. This does both. This Canon Camcorder has a built-in computer on a chip, if you will. Two of them, actually. One to handle animation and graphics, one to handle music. In fact, what this is over here, these are little ROM cartridges with kind of clip art libraries of graphics and animation, a clip art library of music and sound effects. It's really quite an astonishing merger of these two technologies we've been talking about. It seems to me not only are the technologies merging, but we're seeing the same kinds of problems on both sides, aren't we? The problem of friendly user interface, the problem of so much functionality that most people can't figure out how to use it.
Right, absolutely. I think each industry, as they merge, has a lot to learn from the other, and we both have quite a job in making all these things easier to use. I mean, I've been in the computer industry for a long time, and yet if you go to my house, you'll find that my VCR is flashing 12 because I don't know how to set the time, and I've never bothered. I look at something like this, and I can guess that half the people who buy it will never use more than the record button on the back. So I think we really have an opportunity taking this technology and making it easier to use, making it friendlier, so we get more out of the devices that we're creating.
Well, today we're going to take a look at the growing role of computers in consumer electronics. We'll see the merger of video and computers in Commodore's new CD TV system. We'll see how Nintendo is turning the Game Boy into an adult product with business productivity cartridges. So let's go right now to Las Vegas and the annual Winter Consumer Electronics Show. The 1991 Winter Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, was held in Las Vegas, Nevada, which also happens to be the site of Comdex, the biggest computer expo in the world. The CES is smaller than Comdex and features items you're not likely to see at a computer show, like car alarms and cellular phones. But even if there weren't many computers at the CES, there was definitely a lot of computer technology wrapped up in consumer packages. This year's CES had 33 computer companies exhibiting, a 50% increase over the previous year. Some exhibitors, like IBM, were not introducing new products, but decided that it was simply a good idea to be present.
Well, really, with the launch of the PS1, we've entered the consumer electronics business. And this is since the launch in September of 1990. This was the first opportunity for us to be at a national level, to see the kind of traffic that would come through, to listen to the dealers and the retailers, and to hear what they're saying about the PS1.
IBM's home computer, the PS1, was the platform for most of the applications on display, and most applications were noticeably colorful, graphic, and friendly looking.
Ease of use is key. People have to feel that they can get into it through the graphic interface and have that bundled all-in-one type feeling. This is a completely market-driven product.
The idea of putting the PC into a familiar, friendly wrapper is also a major goal of Commodore, which premiered its CD TV, a black box with a CD-ROM player and a microprocessor inside. The CD TV is a hybrid of computer, video disc player, CD audio, and CD-ROM, operated by a handheld remote control. Commodore calls it an interactive multimedia compact disc player. CD-TV has its own CPU, a Motorola 68000, and 1 megabyte of RAM.
But Commodore went to great lengths to make CD-TV look like anything but a computer.
The consumer electronics business is oriented towards boxes. We are not selling a computer here, and we're not particularly selling a component that is separable from a CD player. The CD-ROM drive is an integral part of the player itself. So we took the very simple elements that I described and put them into one simple box, and that made sense at the right price point, which is about $1,000. Nice consumer price.
The CD-TV unit looks like a large CD audio player with more sophisticated input and output devices. The TV-like infrared remote control has a number keypad and arrow keys. At the back of the CD player, you'll find audio and video jacks, as well as parallel and serial ports. There's even an interface for a floppy disk drive. Instead of a hard disk, the CD-TV player has a memory card port, where users can store data on 512K smart cards.
We decided to package it like a piece of fine audio gear to make it very user-friendly and usable in a living room environment. We really didn't want to build a computer. We wanted to build an entertainment and educational platform for the whole family. It's sort of the center of the educational hearth, if you would, or the center of the library of the future. And in a library you have movies and sounds and books of fiction, books of reference, and we wanted to bring all that together into the home.
The Commodore booth contained a cross-section of CD-TV applications from the entertaining to the instructive. Discus Knowledge Research demonstrated CD-TV software called Discus Books to teach reading skills to youngsters. The interface may look like a book, but the CD-TV technology makes it interactive.
And carried off control.
Discus children's books are multilingual, and children can pause the story at any point to get a translation. The user can also call up a pronunciation guide, syllables, and word definitions. Discus CD-TV books will be available in late March for under $70. Dominion Software presented an electronic encyclopedia of military aircraft called Advanced Military Systems. The CD-based guide contains 1,500 photos of military aircraft, along with a voice description or music on the CD's audio track.
All-weather bomber. It is used for close air support, interdiction, and deep strike.
Advanced Military Systems will be available for CD-TV players this spring for under $40.
It's really a new type of category. Laserdisc, for example, gives you movies, but it's a fairly linear process. CD audio gives you sound, but again, it's a fairly linear process. CD-TV gives you this capability of having reference works where you can explore and move throughout vast amounts of information at will.
The entertainment potential of CD-TV was demonstrated at the Tiger Media Display. The Case of the Cautious Condor is the first of a series of interactive mysteries called Airwave Adventures, styled after 1930s era radio dramas.
In my country, a gentleman would not insult the lady by fighting in her presence.
Cautious Condor combines elements of computer adventure games with colorful comic book style images. A narrative soundtrack and music complete the mood. Cautious Condor will be available by the end of March for about $50. The CD-TV player comes with a MIDI port or musical instrument digital interface. The MIDI connection allows CD-TV users to manipulate digitally recorded music, much like a synthesizer. CD-TV will also play CD plus G, or compact disc plus graphics, a kind of MTV on CD. Eastman Kodak's contribution to the consumer CD market was, not surprisingly, a compact disc for storing snapshots called the Photo CD. The CD-based storage system begins with a high-resolution 35mm film scanner for sale to professional photo labs. Customers would bring their film for processing and get a CD transfer at the same time. Amateur photographers could archive their photos to CD until the disc has reached its capacity of 100 images. Like the audio version, the Photo CD is not erasable once recorded. Kodak claims that its image compression technique can shrink the amount of storage space required by 2/3, down from 18 to 6 megabytes per image. The Kodak introduction was an early announcement, to say the least. The product will not be available until late 1992, but Kodak hopes the early introduction will give developers enough lead time to provide the application software. The Kenwood Corporation was also playing the advanced preview game as it demonstrated a prototype CD write-once system designed for home use. The write-once recorder will produce CD audio discs for playback in any standard CD player. No price or release date was announced. Finally, Sansui offered a solution to those CD owners whose CD audio libraries are getting just too big, a robot CD changer that can handle up to 5 discs at once. A robot arm moves discs from a storage well to the player as each selection is finished. The $240 changer features random play, 16-track random access, and 4-way repeat. Cycle time between discs is less than 3 seconds.
As laptop computers shrink in price and size, they've spawned a whole new category of even smaller electronic computing devices that actually fit in the palm of your hand. This Franklin Electronic Dictionary, for example, is essentially a portable reference book. But at this year's CES, we found a whole new generation of pocket-sized portables that offer a lot more than just words.
This year's CES had plenty of big, splashy booths, each trying to be different enough to attract buyers' attention. Paradoxically, these oversized displays were often promoting the reduced dimensions of their smallest products. Franklin Computer introduced a palm-sized electronic version of the concise Columbia Encyclopedia, weighing less than 12 ounces. The handheld unit can search by keywords or by year, topic, or main idea. The search function will also cross-reference other related articles categorized by subjects, such as history, science, or the arts. The software can search by synonym as well. By typing novelists, for example, you'll also get a list of those described as authors and writers. The $400 encyclopedia features phonetic spelling correction, so the user can enter a term or proper name phonetically and still retrieve the subject and the proper spelling. Franklin also unveiled a Spanish-English translator with a voice chip for non-native speakers learning English. The Franklin Spanish Master uses recorded human speech to teach the proper pronunciation of a word in its entirety and phoneme by phoneme. The 7-ounce translator also provides sample English phrases and spelling correction in both Spanish and English. Spanish Master will be available in June for about $300. Franklin, which started out making Apple II and PC clones, now believes it has found the right approach to consumer electronics.
Franklin products, for example, are very affordable. Our products range from $30 to $300. There's a big difference between that and the more traditional computer range of $500 to thousands. A product has a difficult time becoming a true consumer electronics product at those lofty price points. So price has a lot to do with it, but so does design. The kind of guiding principles when we put together a user interface are really somewhat different than those at work in a PC. I think PC customers place a lot more emphasis on generality and options. The consumer wants a foolproof device that does the right thing the first time.
Palm-sized portables were also prominent at the Selectronics booth, where both talking and silent devices were on display. Selectronics introduced an electronic version of the Random House Encyclopedia containing 20,000 entries and weighing less than 12 ounces. The pocket-sized portable has a slot for other ROM-based cartridges, such as dictionaries, language translators, and personal organizers. The search function includes spelling correction and cross-referencing, and the unit includes a few utilities like a calculator and an alarm clock. The portable encyclopedia will be available in April for around $350. For world travelers, Selectronics unveiled the Berlitz Travel Master, a translator with a voice chip containing 10 languages and 1,700 phrases. According to Selectronics, the Travel Master uses an advanced form of speech compression to store digitally recorded human speech instead of the less natural-sounding synthetic speech.
I have a reservation.
As with many trade shows, you can find some of the most intriguing products in the most unassuming booths. At the Hong Kong Pavilion, a number of small vendors were offering some compact products in some compact booths. A company called Brilliant System Limited introduced a Chinese-English translator and dictionary containing over 200,000 words. The translator, model CK9000, also includes common idioms and phrases in both languages. The CK9000 will display both simplified and conventional Chinese characters, and a talking version is under development. The combination dictionary translator retails for about $150. At least 2 computer companies chose CES as the launching pad for some budget-priced laptop computers. Brother introduced a new category of laptop machine they called work organizers. Brother is eager to stress that the PowerNote laptop is neither a portable computer nor a pocket-type personal organizer, but a hybrid. The 5-pound PowerNote, about the size of a thick notebook, has built-in software. Instead of a DOS prompt, users get a menu listing the applications, an ASCII file transfer program for PCs, a text processor, address book, calculator, alarm clock, calendar, spreadsheet, and an optional fax modem. The PowerNote has a 14-line backlit LCD display, 32K of RAM, and a proprietary 240K floppy disk drive. With its rechargeable battery, the laptop will run for up to 8 hours. Brother expects to ship the PowerNote in April. The suggested retail price will be under $500. Laser Computer, once known for low-cost clones of the Apple II, unveiled a very slim IBM compatible called the PC4. Like the Brother PowerNote, PC4 is more like a portable electronic notebook than a replacement for your desktop computer. It comes with a ROM-based software package suitable for travelers, including word processor and Lotus-compatible spreadsheet. For business people with a hectic schedule, there's an appointment book, telephone directory, alarm clock, and file transfer utilities. The PC4 is a true lightweight at under 2 pounds, and it comes with an expansion slot for custom applications. The PC4 IBM version sells for $250, while the Mac version, due out in December, will sell for about $270.
It's got not just 1, but 6 different video games packed into a single console. Called Neogeo, or New Land, this new multi-game video game system is the latest attraction from Japan's SNK Corporation. Each game cartridge operates off of a powerful 16-bit main microprocessor, and because it's got 64 megabytes of ROM, each Neogeo game has superior graphics, including 3D effects and sound capabilities. Arcade operators say because of the high quality and variety in games, Neogeo attracts a second group of players besides the kids.
We're finding that not only appeals to the youngsters, but to the older players as well, because it has things like golf and baseball that if a parent is walking by and sees the game, they'll try it because they know what golf and baseball are all about, as opposed to walking up to a shoot-'em-up type of game where they might not know where they're trying to get to.
SNK has spruced up the video game console by adding a jack for headphones as well as a slot for a memory card.
You can stick that into the game at the end of your play, put it in there, and you can start from that point when you play it again. For those that have played video games, even at home, you know you have to go through many levels to reach the finish. And with this memory card, you can stick it in from the level that you started when you finished the last time.
The memory cards can also be used in the Neogeo home units that have the same games as the arcades. That's a gimmick that's sure to boost sales. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.
For people who grew up in the computer era, their first taste of digital technology was probably with a video game, a hugely successful invention that first made its appearance in the mid-'70s. Since the first Pong game back in 1976, the industry boomed, and today's computer video games have become increasingly sophisticated and realistic. Nintendo now has the lion's share of the $5 billion video game market, but it has plenty of rivals who fight as hard as any screen-bound warrior. This year's CES showed the unmistakable impact of new computer technology on new game technology. Sega of America brought out a portable color system to compete directly with Nintendo's ubiquitous Game Boy. The Sega Game Gear features a backlit, high-resolution 3-inch screen displaying up to 32 colors. Game Gear also offers stereo sound, and the unit can be transformed into a television tuner with an adapter due out in the fall of this year. Sega will offer Game Gear versions of 2 new games, one featuring a well-known mouse, the other a less renowned hedgehog. Portable video games sell in quantities that would astonish any computer hardware maker. Over 40,000 Game Gears were sold in Japan within 2 days of its introduction. A month later, back orders exceeded 600,000 units. On this side of the Pacific, Sega plans to start shipping the Game Gear in April for a suggested price of about $160. Game cartridges will sell for about $30. Nintendo had some new games and accessories on display, but the 16-bit Super Famicom, already for sale in Japan, was not among them. Inside the enormous Nintendo Pavilion, the company demonstrated its 4-player adapter, a set of cables that permits head-to-head competition among 4 players. The adapter sells for under $30. Nolan Bushnell, inventor of Pong, the first video game, predicts even more interaction between computer chips and consumer electronics.
I believe that all of consumer electronics is in fact merging and becoming more computer-esque, if you would. You don't need to hit people over the head that there's a computer in it. What you really want to do is have the tool, have the computer be a tool for you, not necessarily have you go through a big training thing so that you can use your equipment. You want the computer to be smarter than you are, and make it easier for you instead of have to train to operate this machine.
Handheld electronic games are no longer just for kids. For example, at this Sharper Image store, you can buy this little electronic game that plays bridge with you, and there's another one that lets you play chess. In fact, they have an electronic chess game here that actually talks to you. Indeed, the trend in portable electronic games is to mix the practical with the whimsical.
GameTech introduced software applications for the Nintendo Game Boy called Infogenius Productivity Packs. About all they have in common with video games is the hardware interface. The Infogenius programs are more suitable for business travelers, tourists, and students than game fanatics. In spite of the toy-like appearance of the Game Boy, GameTech is confident of its marketing ploy.
The reasoning behind it was that 46% of the Game Boy users are over 18 years of age, and they have had, as of yet, have had no software developed expressly for them. So Infogenius was developed to meet their needs. And there are over 5.5 million households which currently own a Game Boy unit. And there are adults in each of those households with software needs.
Infogenius unwrapped 5 packages at CES, including translators, a spell checker, a travel guide, and a personal organizer. Spanish and French translators each contain 300 phrases and over 12,000 words. The Infogenius Travel Guide contains hotel, restaurant, and tourist information on 20 American cities and includes an auto dialer. The Personal Organizer is a combination appointment book, world time clock, calculator, and address book. The Infogenius packages will be available in September for around $40 each. In another sign of merging computer applications and consumer hardware, Software Toolworks demonstrated the Miracle Piano teaching system. The Nintendo-based music instructor uses graphics with a video game feel and a keyboard synthesizer. The Miracle system blends video game lessons with technology more common to computers, such as music notation software and a MIDI port. The system includes a software function that customizes lessons to the learning level of the student. Miracle Piano for Nintendo retails for about $350. The final leap to the PC platform is scheduled for later this year. Mac and Amiga versions are also planned. That's our look at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. In Las Vegas, I'm Stuart Chaffee for Computer Chronicles.
In the random access file this week, Hewlett-Packard has introduced the new Vectra 486-33T. HP says it is the most powerful personal computer ever, featuring a 33 MHz 486 CPU. The base price for the 486-33T is $9,500, but HP says the new Vectra computer can take the place of several less powerful PCs. The Vectra 486 can reportedly run a network with 200 terminals and can handle 100 Unix users simultaneously. Panasonic has announced a new 34-pin dot matrix printer based on the popular KXP 1124 model. The new KXP 1124i still has a list price of about $500, but it has many new features, including a super letter quality font, a larger print buffer, and quieter operation. Taking a look at this week's top 10 software titles for the PC, PC Connection reports that TurboTax from Chipsoft is in the #1 position, with Andrew Tobias's Tax Cut 1990 taxes in second. Third is Expanded Memory Manager, followed by Quicken. PC Tools Deluxe is in 5th place. Rounding out the top 10 PC titles are Managing Your Money, Entertainment Pack for Windows, Windows 3.0, Hijack 2.0, and Procom Plus. Next up, Paul Schindler in this week's software review.
I got this from a computer company and I just love it. If you're still the ray gun type, consider this dandy new arcade game, Skyshadow, from the makers of the vastly popular Crystal Quest. Now, if I hadn't told you this was another product from the same people, you might have guessed from the sound effects. Just listen. Yes, that old sense of humor is back in a new game. There's no deep philosophy, no fancy text, just a simple shoot-'em-up arcade game. Well, actually, it isn't so simple. Some things you run into are good for you and some are not. These stars, for example, eat away at your shields. Lines are disastrous. Losing is an unambiguous experience. You get the cosmic raspberry. You get points for bombing, but not for bombing your own side. Just listen to the sound it makes when you eat a smiley face. Skyshadow is $50 from Cassidy & Green in Carmel, California. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
GCC Technologies has dropped the price of its laser printer to below $1,000. The company cut the price of its personal laser printer 2 from $13.99 to only $9.99. The PLP2 is a quick-draw laser printer designed to work with the Macintosh. It prints 4 pages per minute at a resolution of 300 dots per inch. And finally, a new weekly computer industry newsletter is trying to get the jump on competitors by delivering via email and fax. Computer Industry Week will prepare the week's news summary over the weekend and fax or email it to you so it can be on your desk when you arrive Monday morning. Well, that's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. I'm Kate McGargy.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SBA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection and by Byte Magazine and Bix.